4 millennia history has told us that ancient Egypt was the gift of the Nile. A narrow ribbon of green, flanked by golden cliffs, where pharaohs built pyramids and temples to touch the heavens. But that's only half the story. Beyond the Nile Valley lies a vast, unforgiving ocean of sand, the Sahara. To the ancients, this was desert, the Red Land, a place of chaos and demons. Yet, scattered across this emptiness, oases stood as defiant bastions of life, and the rulers of these oases were not mere governors. They were desert pharaohs. While the great pharaohs in Thebes built with stone, the lords of the West commanded the caravan routes, the lifelines that brought gold, incense, and exotic luxuries from the deep south. They built fortified cities and incredible subterranean water systems that made the desert bloom. The most enigmatic of these desert kingdoms was Siwa. Its temple of Amen grew so powerful it rivaled the great temples of the Nile. The priests of Siwa were seen as the direct mouthpieces of the god, and their words could make or break kings. In 332 BCE, Alexander the Great marched his army into the desert, not for conquest, but for legitimacy. When the Sivan oracle proclaimed him the son of Ammon, Alexander embraced the mantle of a desert pharaoh, connecting his Greek world to the ancient mysteries of the sand. Further south, in the Bahariya Oasis, a stunning discovery in 1996 revealed a forgotten aristocracy. The Valley of the Golden Mummies unearthed rulers from the twilight of the Pharaonic era. These were not poor nomads. They were draped in gold leaf, their faces a blend of Egyptian divinity and Roman status. These golden rulers maintained their own lavish courts, guardians of a thriving wine trade that supplied the entire Roman Empire from vineyards grown in the heart of the desert. In the Dakhla Oasis, the ruins of a governoress palace tell the story of mini-kings who stepped into the power vacuum when the central government crumbled. They commanded their own armies, built their own tombs, and were worshipped as divine protectors. They even developed a unique desert style of art, less rigid and more independent than the art of the Nile. So why were these powerful rulers forgotten? The desert is a harsh librarian. Sandstorms buried their cities, and shifting dunes erased their roads. Their legacy wasn't in massive stone monuments, but in engineering the ability to create life from nothing. Their true power came from their mastery of water. While Nile pharaohs waited for the annual flood, the rulers of Karga and Dakhla pioneered the Qanat system, sophisticated underground tunnels, miles long, carved through solid rock to tap into ancient aquifers. The men who controlled this water were seen as magicians. They could sustain thousands where not a drop of rain fell for decades. This power kept them independent. Invading armies, from the Persians to the Romans, often left the oasis rulers alone, fearing that if they interfered, the water kings would simply turn off the taps and leave them to die of thirst. This mastery of the desert may have sealed the fate of a legendary lost army. In 524 BCE, the Persian king Cambyses sent 50,000 soldiers to destroy the oracle at Siwa. The army marched into the Great Sand Sea and vanished. Herodotus wrote that a sandstorm buried them alive. But some now believe the army was led into a trap by a rebel desert pharaoh who used the sun and sand as his ultimate weapons. From warrior priests in Farafra who blended Libyan tactics with Egyptian faith, to Cleopatra herself, who saw the oases as a secret retreat and invested in their temples and baths. The desert was a shadow kingdom, a parallel Egypt. By the 4th century CE, as the Roman Empire declined and the climate grew harsher, the oases began to fade. The great cities were slowly reclaimed by the dunes, but the legacy of the lost pharaohs never truly disappeared. Their bloodlines merged with Bedouin tribes, and their stories live on in local legends. To understand them is to realize Egypt was never just a river civilization. It was a dual empire, one of water and one of sand, ruled by forgotten kings who looked at the void and saw a kingdom. Thanks for watching. If you want to uncover more lost histories, make sure to like and subscribe. See you next time.